Turtle, and Turtle's can't so fast, and she wants to compete on my team. But she
Hey everybody, it's your girl Adrienne, and welcome back to the Diary of a PR Diva. Y'all, this is an exciting conversation. We've been getting it together. I have Ariana Drummond with me, and we're going to do some chatting today. So if you are ready, let's get started, because I do have some questions. It's going to be a little fun. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Of course. And so I don't have the traditional bio laid out. So my first question is, can you share more about your journey and how you discovered your passion for public relations and marketing at Hampton University?
Yes. So during my tenure at Hampton, I really, to your point, kind of discovered my passion for PR and marketing. It was just through the connections that I made. The teachers were a huge influence on my life. I started interning at BET, where I really discovered, like, hey, this is exactly what I want to do. I remember when I was in school, we had this thing called the Black College Expo in Los Angeles. And I just remember attending the seminar and this woman talking about, like, oh, I got to travel here and I get all these perks and all I had to do was have a good personality. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but that's exactly what I want to do and exactly where I want to be. So, at school is really where I learned what public relations was, all the different elements of public relations. And again, I just really fell in love with it in school and through my journey at BET. So it was a crazy little journey, but yeah.
And I have that. So one of the questions was, how did your experience at Hampton, particularly with the school's radio station and
Yes.
organizations like the Public Relations Society of America, shape your career aspirations?
So I will say okay. So I grew up in the era of T and Tamara and our sister. So I remember watching. I can't remember if it was T or Tamara, but I remember she worked at a radio station, and I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome! This is super cool." And so when they started I guess the first stages of asking people to join the radio, they really just fell in love with my personality, and I've always been such a bubbly, outgoing person, and so they really took to that and asked me to be a part of the radio station there. And it just really allowed me to learn different aspects of journalism. I remember they want before, when I first started my freshman year, they wanted us to kind of break up what type of major we wanted, but towards my senior year they had encompassed it into just communications, because to your point, there's broadcast, there's print, there's public relations, there's radio, there's so many different elements of journalism and communications. So that really just I fell in love with radio. I would still do it to this day. That unfortunately wasn't my calling. I was really a more behind the scenes, and I know you can't really see your face on radio, but I loved it. I love being able to, play different hits and talk to the people and really engage with the community. So I definitely enjoyed it. And to your point, it really did influence my life and I guess the type of career path that I wanted to follow. And like I said, that wasn't my calling, but I that's where I fell in love with public relations. So yeah.
Yes. Now, you did mention your internship with BET. So that must have been an exciting opportunity. Can you tell us about your role as a public relations assistant and some of the memorable times during your BET experience?
Yeah, of course. So I remember I was at Hampton when I first I went into, okay, so we were like in class one day, and I went in this classroom, and this guy was on this computer and he was filling out internships, and I'm like, man, we do need those to graduate. So he's filling out one for BT, and I was like, well, I'm gonna fill out one for BT
Oh,
too.
wow.
So I went and I applied, and I was chosen, and it really sparked my life because I wasn't as familiar with entertainment, and when I got hired on as an intern at BT, it really, I was really able to see the BET Awards, the different shows that they work on, and how I guess public relations played a part in entertainment and vice versa. So, you know, I guess some of my memorable moments, I remember I was on the carpet. I think it might have been like 2000. It was my junior year, 2011 BET Awards. And as per usual, don't know why, but it is always like the hottest day of the year for BET Awards. Don't know why, but it is. And I just remember being on the carpet. I think Drake was like nominated that year, and I got to meet him. And at the time, my favorite rapper was and still is J. Cole. And I just remember walking up to him and being able to talk to his publicist or his manager at the time and asking him for a photo. But yeah, I was drawn into the hustle and bustle of public relations, and you know, being on the carpet if somebody needed you, or you'd be like the it person or the connect essentially, and be like, hey, where are all the local parties at, or you know, whatever the case may be. But I really do think my experience working there, and I want to give a shout out to Sabrina Horton, who was a mentor of mine, and I think she was the public relations director at the time, who was my manager during my internship, and she really helped mold me into the person I am. I attribute a lot of my earlier career to her, and just her wisdom and advice that she instilled in me. So it was a great experience. I recommend, and I mean, I know you're obligated to have an internship in order to graduate, but I do recommend, you know, people really, I think that's the internships are a way for you to figure out what you want out of life. Like, hey, do I want to in entertainment, or do I want to do something in beauty? Do I want to do something in, you know, whatever industry? And again, I just really love the hustle and bustle of it. I love the, you know, we there's so many free perks in entertainment and so many people that you meet. And, you know, at the time when you're young, you're like, oh, I get to go to all these parties and I get all this free merch. You know what I mean? So it was just it was a time. It was a time to be alive.
I love it.
Oh my God.
And you mentioned it a little bit, but like, what valuable lessons or skills did you gain from your time at one of the most prominent television networks?
I will say that I guess my more just being more, I don't want to say more professionalism, but I
I mean,
learned,
that happens
you
though.
know,
Like
yeah,
I could see that.
you know, when you're starting off, you just got out of college, you're still kind of like this in between stage of professional and, you know, still want to kind of network with people, or be cool with people in a sense. But I think the smartest lesson that I learned was just kind of just maintaining relationships. I think for me, the people that I met during that experience, once they left, I still stayed in contact and maintained contact with some of those people, and they would invite me back to work different events. They would invite me just to work different projects. So I really think one of the most important things that I've learned is kind of building and maintaining those relationships.
I love that. Now, as the television coordinator for the Image Awards, can you share your insights into your role and responsibilities in conducting and coordinating such a prestigious event?
Oh, that was a lot. I will give you this tea. I was I think I always think about my life and the interesting journey that I took with, you know, my career in public relations. I had just I was at Warner Brothers, and I was there for like 3 years, and I left, and I got furloughed at the time. And you know, NAACP really opened their arms with such care, and the people there, again, one of my biggest mentors and still to this day is Robin Harrison, who is the VP at the Hollywood Bureau at NAACP now. And she was just so kind and welcomed me in at a time where I really needed a job. And so I started working there as a television coordinator. It also allowed me to learn, like, I guess, the award show aspect of events, and the submission process, I guess the front end and back end, because all people really see is, hey, this person got nominated or this person
Yeah.
won, and you don't really understand or know or have the knowledge of like what takes all of that to come into fruition. So you know, it was an interesting experience. It's a lot. It was a lot at the time, because a lot of that stuff we had to basically do a lot of research. We had to do a lot of you know, outreach, which was great because I got to talk to a lot of the different folks at the different networks, which again, you know, was amazing just to build my not relationships with different industry professionals, but it was a time. It was a time. It was a lot. And again, those are also some of the earlier award shows that I worked that I appreciated. I was like, it's fun. It's Black excellence. It's, you're surrounded by your people. And I was like, hell yeah, this is
Yes.
exactly, where I want to be, the type of rooms that I want to be in. And they treat you, they just treat you with such love. Like Black people, you know what I mean? It's just a different type of feeling. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no, I
I
love
always
that. I
felt
can feel
very,
it. Like I see,
yeah,
I love your admiration for them. Like you can feel it. It comes through. So it makes it seem like, it's just a really good organization to be a part
yes,
of.
yes,
I
definitely.
love that. Now, how do you approach the challenges and opportunities that come with organizing an award show of this caliber? Oh,
Um, so now oh Lord Jesus. So now I serve. So I was, like I said, I was at NAACP as a TV coordinator, and then they would invite me back to work as a contractor. And now I'm officially over there as the talent and media relations director. So working on the award show is stressful. I'm just dealing with a lot of it now. There's just so many elements that goes into an award show that I think people don't really realize. From my end, I, book all the talent for the award show. But there's so many, it's the award show, and then we have all these other events that take place before the actual show. So I mean, right now it's a lot. Like in such a short amount of time, and there's so many different elements, and you need a good team, and you
yes.
need people behind you and the support. And I guess my best advice would just be like, because I get stressed out as a person, and I get real nippy, and I'm just like, you need a team that supports you, a good solid team that supports you, but also I mean, this is, at the end of the day, this is, I try to tell people, this is not rocket science. Nobody's gonna die. You know what I mean? You got to maintain your mental health. Mental health is significantly important. I advocate for that. And you can't get so stressed out and drive yourself crazy for something like this. So
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the truth because I mean, it is a lot, it
yeah,
is, it's a lot.
yeah.
And so being a marketing consultant and freelance publicist involves wearing many hats, like you just said. So how do you balance these different roles? Are there any strategies that you find most effective in your work? I know they go, it's like that, like I'm walking around with Libra scales. Like,
Honey child, I mean, prayer. Again, all honor to the Most High God. Thank you,
amen.
Lord, because I do think to your point, it's a lot. And I mean, how do I balance it? I think um it's really, I think and I think you learn this when you're first starting in. I think it's really about prior how do you
Prioritizing, yes.
Thank you so much. Prioritizing things. For me, I'm like, okay, what's, the hard things that I need to accomplish today? And then also I think what helps me in prioritizing is like, hey, from 9 to 11 I'm going to work on this specifically, and from like 12 to 2 I'm going to do this. I mean, I'm not going to say I am not amazing at it whatsoever. I am a horrible multitasker, but I'm learning. I am learning, and I'm trying to get better at it. So
It's a work in progress.
yeah, it's a work in progress. I love that. That's real. That is so real.
So can you share? And I know you said you, and it's awesome that you know this. Like you said, you get nippy when you get stressed and everything. You know what I mean? So can you share a success story or a challenging situation that you encountered and how you overcame it? I mean, I know there are many. I'm sure there's just like so many stories, but is there one that sticks out to you?
Oh my goodness. Sorry.
It's
Okay.
okay. I mean, I know these are like we didn't practice. So like this is in the moment. So if she share it, it's a good one.
Yeah, like, oh wait. Oh, success moment for me.
Or a
Um,
challenging moment.
uh, mm, I'm really trying to think of something oh, I remember when I was working at NAACP. Child. But also, again, it speaks to prioritizing.
Yes.
So I remember I was working as the TV coordinator, and they brought me in to work on the front side of the award show. And I remember I did not, I think it was like the same week, the award show a few years ago was the same weekend as like my birthday. So
Mm.
and I didn't balance my schedule appropriately at all. I remember I woke up that morning and I went to go get my hair done, got my makeup done, or no, sorry, got my hair done, and I was late to basically the start of the show. And so I when I tell you I look crazy, I had pins in my hair, curlers in my hair, makeup not even done. I think I had like once, dead serious, one side of my face done, the other one off, and I had to talk to guests that way. People, like, it was the start of the show. I didn't time it. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did not time it well. And again, I had flip-flops on with the dress, half makeup, half not, hair and curlers, and people were coming up to me like, okay, like I was managing tickets or something, and I remember these really nasty publicists coming up to me at the time and were like, where is my client sitting, and blah 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 blah. And I think the one thing I learned earlier on, and I will thank you to my mother, is attest to also my professionalism, is as angry and pissed off as people make you, you really kind of got to grit your teeth and bear it sometimes. I'm not saying like allow people to walk over you, but also to your point about speaking about relationships, you don't know if you have to interact with those people later on. So you know what I mean? Hey, yes, I could make a fuss, get angry, cuss this lady out, or just, kind of grit your teeth and bear it. So at that time, I tried to manage it as efficiently as possible in that sense. But I will still, I say this, but I still work with this lady, or in some capacity have worked with this lady, but also you still remember that type of stuff. You're like, okay, like, I remember when you was nasty, I'm not going to bring that up, or I'm not going to like not approve your client for something. But, at the end of the day, you just, I will say, don't burn your bridges. You just never know when you're going to work with folks again.
Yes. Yes. That, woo, yes.
And these, I mean, I don't know, these others
Right.
ooh, we're not going to talk about that today, but
that's another one.
yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. My God.
You've been involved in iconic events. What are some critical aspects of event management that you believe contribute to the success of an event?
Time management, preparation. I will say as much early preparation as possible. I think you really need to identify the, I don't want to say like what ifs, but yeah, kind of what ifs, like, okay, what if this happens, what if this happens. I think you need to really be able to anticipate needs, people anticipate problems that might arise. But I definitely think proper planning and as early as possible, it will definitely test and lead to success at the end of the day. I think for me, like I said, award shows happen, and you think you might have everything together, and I will say, no matter what, something always happens or something goes wrong. So I think it's about remaining having composure, remaining calm during stressful situations, but just preparing as much as you can in advance.
And I love that you said that, because this will be great for any potential clients to see, because they want things right away, right? And they're not looking at oh, we've been planning this for a year. We started working on this 6 months ago. Like, I understand that you want to be on there, but they picked their panel back as soon as the last event was over. They were working on the next one.
And I think, yeah, people fail to realize that, like, you know what I mean? To your point, I think from a client's perspective, and I always see this post around, but it's just like, hey, I want this thing. People think that it works, you know what I mean? Like this. And I'm like, no, hold up. Like it takes time. Everything takes a build out, and people always expect results to just be, right down in your face, just immediate. And that's just not how it works.
Right.
So,
Not at all. Is there any particular event that stands out as a highlight of your career?
Oh, I mean, not that one that I worked, but I remember I was, it was NWA was coming out, and I had a client who was in the film. And I remember being he got approved. Yeah, that was lit. He got approved for a GQ party. When I tell you that place was lit, that place was lit. Like, I remember being there from sun up to sundown and getting up, like literally not even an hour of sleep, getting up, going to work. You know what I mean? So it was like, but it was, I mean, when I tell you everybody was there and it was just such a amazing experience, you know, at the end of the day, like it was just a really phenomenal, dope party and experience, and everybody was there. Definitely probably the most memorable one.
And I love that. And again, this is for clients that are watching. Like I know this podcast is for publicists and for all of us in the entertainment space, but it's also for clients, because that the proud mama in your face, just shows how much we work for our clients, right? Like it's like we
Yeah.
want this for you. Like we want you to win.
Yeah, we want, to your point, yeah, we want you to win, and we're doing all this, and sometimes people don't either see that or recognize that. That's unfortunate, but see it or recognize it. But we work hard, especially to unknown talent. You know what I mean? I remember working so hard, like nobody knew who he was, like nobody cared, you know what I mean? Like, or essentially cared, and you gotta fight. You gotta fight hard to get him in certain rooms, to get him certain press. Like people only focus on the main cast of stuff, or the lead of shows, and you gotta, finagle and figure stuff out, so they don't see that.
Absolutely. Now, as a partner, you're still with Creative Approach Productions is your company.
Yes.
And so what is your vision for the company, and how do you plan to position it as one of the most renowned PR firms in Los Angeles?
I think I don't want to say, I think kind of my mission has shifted a bit, and also my mission has shifted a bit, but also my values, in a sense of, I am a strong believer that if God gives you certain resources, you need to use those resources to give back. And so I think one of the things that I loved about NAACP, it's a nice mix of entertainment and advocacy, which I realize is very important to me. So I really want to, in with my own company, I really want to use it as a platform to raise awareness about different initiatives that I think are important, or that maybe somebody else would find important, and really make it so that I think, to your point, like a lot of up and coming stars don't get the recognition that they deserve, and it's so easy to get a A-lister in somewhere, but people have to fight tooth and nail for some of the up and coming and people of color, that are fighting to get in certain rooms. And I want to be that resource for people. So, I think success has now shifted in my eyes and what that looks like. So maybe I might not have an A-list talent, but as long as I feel like I'm doing the work, and as long as I'm making some type of difference in the world, I think that's what success is for me. And leaving a legacy. Leaving a legacy is really important. Like, what do I want to be known as? I want to be known as a good person. Like, to your point, I think we meet so many publicists that can be very nasty. And I know sometimes it's difficult, because you do have to, I don't want to say nasty. You do have to be very assertive when it comes to this,
No, come
this
on, Nancy.
industry. Yeah, you have to be very assertive and aggressive, but also I think you can do it in a way that is not mean,
Right.
So
Yes.
I really want to be known as like, hey, Ariana was a good person, was a good person at the end of the day, or had
Love
a good
that.
experience with me.
I love it. So what's been your favorite moment in PR, other than the GQ? I know that was a good one for you, but like, has there been a favorite PR moment or event?
I will say, working, I have this client by the name of Cleo Thomas that I just love. His mother raised him so right, and he is so respectable, and I think he is a representation of me when he goes out and how he moves. So I think just working with him has just, we've been working together for at least 2014. So I mean, I don't know how many
We
years that
love a
is, but
long-term client.
yeah. So I appreciate for him for sticking with me. I think loyalty is super important in this industry, and getting a client that, that you work well together, that believes in you as a publicist, and vice versa as you as a client. But just I think my experiences have been really good working with him. He was a childhood actor. He still acts, but he's transitioned more in the influencer slash gaming space. And just being with him and working with him and going to different events with him have been really exciting. Like I remember we were at the Black Panther premiere. That was super fun. And just being around, again, Black excellence and what that moment meant for the culture, what that moment meant for us as, African Americans was super important. So just being in that space. But he has made my experience as a publicist so amazing. So he's a great, phenomenal actor, great guy, great client. So I appreciate that.
Love that. Love that. Is there a bucket list event for anyone, alive or historical, that you could create? Who would it be and why? Like if you create this event, like a bucket list, like if you said this, I could, in my mind, this event would be like the event that you could do for any person, alive or historical.
Um, I I will say that I like the film and TV space more than music, but I remember BET used to do like the fat Rip the Runway.
Yes.
But I don't know. I love fashion, but also I'm not like, but I don't know. I thought that was super cool. Or like I think BT did Black women something. Like I would want to do something that recognizes Black women. Well, maybe that recognizes something that recognizes Black women and the work that they do. I think Black Girls Rock. It was
Oh,
BT Black
yes,
Girls
yes,
Rock.
yes, yes.
So maybe something along those lines that raises awareness about some type of initiatives and also celebrates Black women. So probably something I don't know what that would be, but off the top of my head, something with those different facets.
So this is the last question, and then we'll go into some quick rapid fire questions to end it out. But this last question is, how do you stay informed and inspired in this fast-paced world of PR and entertainment?
Informed, I think in this day and age, I know we're all about social media, but also I think it's very important to fact check stuff.
Yeah.
I can recall a few instances with some gossip sites that were released incorrect information. So I do definitely think it's important to remain educated and knowledgeable about certain stuff and just watching the news every day. I think that's super important. Like what's going on in the world? Like you need to be able to communicate with people and maybe share your views. So I think that's super important to just stay informed about stuff that's happening in the world. And then also, what was the second half of the question? Sorry.
Inspired.
Inspired. I think when I find a project that is exciting and that I really love and that I think that I can help and really move the needle, like I tell people all the time, I like to take on clients that I feel like I could do the work. I don't want to just take on a client because it's a name, or I don't want to take on a client just because of the money. Like I really want to be able to believe in what you have or what you're doing. I remember working with this young lady and she had a Black female comic book about a female superhero, and it was all about representation and the importance of imagery and little Black girls seeing something in
Oh,
themselves, and stuff like that really gets me motivated and excited that I really want to do or have a successful campaign for specific individuals. So what gets me inspired is really just something that I'm, I guess, interested and excited about, I guess.
yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, I mean, and I think because I feel the same way. Like you definitely see opportunities, and it's the little person. You know what I mean? A person that without us, people really wouldn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there would be no opportunity for them to get into those rooms and get into those spaces. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Okay, morning or night person?
Morning now.
Your favorite social media platform?
Shade room. Oh, my bad. Instagram girl.
I know, but I mean, Shade Room is a platform, though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Instagram.
Look, your dream celebrity client.
Ooh, Angelina Jolie. I love
Ooh.
her. Oh, and she's such a humanitarian.
Yes, like I would have not expected that. Okay,
I love her.
your go-to productivity hack.
Laying out my schedule.
Okay. Your favorite PR tool or app?
Says Muck Rack now.
Right, yeah. Biggest PR challenge you faced? Well, I know we talked about it a little bit, but
Difficult clients that expect too much too soon, and difficult publicists.
favorite event you've attended?
GQ.
Yeah. Best career advice you received?
Take your time. Take your time and make time for yourself.
Oh, I love that. Favorite PR or marketing campaign besides your own?
I like this. I worked on AT&T's Dream in Black campaign, which I like.
Yes,
I really
really
like that.
good.
Enjoyed that.
I like them. If you weren't in PR, what would you be doing?
I think I might have been in like casting. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was it. That was all I had for you.
And that's just, I love this. Thank you no, this was dope. This was like, I love your energy. I admire everything that you're doing. Like, this is super cool that you're doing this for us. So like, for us as community, for us as like a publicist, and just everybody else that needs this knowledge that can't find it, or doesn't have the time to find a mentee or a mentor, so thank you so much for this. This was dope. Thank you.
You're very welcome. And thank you for agreeing. I know that you are busy. And so that's why I didn't want to take up too much of your time, but wanted to get it done because you have a voice, and people want to learn and see, especially Black women in this space doing the thing. So
You're right about for real. Yeah, for real.
so tell everybody how they can connect with you and let them know how they can find you.
Of course. So you guys can connect with me via email is the best. At NAACP email is Ariana A Drummond, ADRUMMOND at NAACPnet.org. I'm also on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at Ariana ARIANAD_PR. Best way to get a hold of me. Sorry, I'm like, I love you, girl. I love your energy. I'm telling you, I love your energy. Dope. Super dope.
Well, thank you so much. I'm going to stop the recording.
You are so fun. I love it.